Hi, welcome back to the channel. I'm Joseph Phillips, the Director of Education at Instructing.com. Today I'm going to talk about what do great project managers do? What do they do that separates them from the average project manager? If you've not already subscribed to the channel, I encourage you to do so now and hit that like button. Maybe turn on the notifications so you never miss a video like this. All right, let's get into the important stuff here is what do great project managers do that average project managers don't? So I've got some really key insights for you that'll help you in your career as a project manager. First off, we think about, well, what's the most important thing in a project? Always important thing to ask, what's most important in a project? It's getting things done. It's having results. Why do a project if we're not going to create a result? Imagine, if you will, that you've been tasked with a new project, that you're going to create a piece of software, or you're going to build a building or a home, or you are going to create a new way to manufacture something. And you invest the time and the effort, and you really put a lot of thought and care into it, and you're 2 or 3 months into that project and it gets canceled. That's really disappointing. It's really a letdown. It's kind of, you feel like you've wasted that time, you wasted that energy. We don't want that to happen, but that idea of that time and energy and money that you've spent, that you have nothing to show for it, is not good. It's not a good feeling. And I'm sure a lot of you have experienced that at some point in your career. I know that I have. Well, the most important thing in a project is that idea of creating the result, of why we are doing the thing, about creating that new building or that piece of software or that new approach or process and how we deliver a product. It's the value. It's why we are doing the project. That's what's most important. So I see a lot of average project managers that they get into this fury, this cloud over here of managing the project, and the focus is on all the processes and the inputs and the techniques and the outputs. That's not what's important. What's important is getting things done, about creating results, about creating value for the organization. That's why we're doing the project. So our focus has to be on that vision. And then we take that vision and we share that repeatedly, always with the team and the stakeholders, and we get confirmation of that vision, that shared understanding of why we're doing this project. It's so important to have a vision of where we're going, and to make certain our team and stakeholders and our vendors and everyone involved in the project has a shared vision of where we're going, that we see the current state, but our goal is to get to that desired future state. That's the number one thing. What's most important is getting things done. Just slightly behind that, that separates a great project manager from an average project manager, is to remember who's actually doing the work. So sometimes as a project manager, I see people that they think they're the most important person in the project. And that's really not true. The most important person in the project, the people doing the work, they are the closest individuals that will make your project a success or a failure. The people doing the work are really the most important people. Now, the project manager is kind of the coach that we're directing, we're aligning, we're motivating, that we want to get people to create that end result. But I'm not building the house. I'm not developing the software. I'm not creating the new process and how we manufacture something. It's my team. It's the people doing the work. They're the most important. Now, who are they doing the work for? Are the customers. So I'm kind of this liaison between the two as a project manager. So my focus needs to be first on the value. Who decides value? The customers. Who gets us to the value? Our team. That we are a coordinator. We're the liaison, if you will, between those two entities. So we really need to focus on those two things. What's most important for whom, and who are the folks creating that value? So that brings me to my second point, that what separates the difference between a great project manager, which I know you want to be if you're not already, or you want to be better, and the average project manager. And that is to promote the project team. The focus and the light should not be on me, the project manager. The focus is on the people doing the work. That's the people creating the value. So I take every opportunity to give praise to others. So when a stakeholder or the sponsor or management says, I love the way your project's going, the response is, thank you so much. I'm happy that you're happy, but I got to tell you, the reason why you're happy is not me. It's because of the project team. These are the people that are doing the work. That's why we are moving forward, why we're having success. And I do that often in front of my team. When I do status reports, I make certain to give credit to the team. And as we have meetings and whatnot, I always want to give credit where credit's due. And that's not being a suck up, that's being honest. Because I want people to see that I'm not the guy doing the work. It's these brilliant people on my team that are getting things done. They make me look good. And I want to give credit to those individuals, the people that are actually responsible for the success of the project. That's so important. Now, this is true whether you're in a predictive or a waterfall environment. In a predictive project that we've seen kind of fade a little bit over the past several years, it's still very prevalent, don't get me wrong. But in a predictive environment, there's often this command and control approach where I'm the quarterback, I'm the captain, I will tell you what to do. It's like a task and you go do it. It's a little bit Neanderthal-ish, if that's such a word. We want to have more of what we see in Agile, where it is a collaboration, that we are working together, and I want to organize, but I support the team. And I'm not over the team. In fact, sometimes it's displayed that I'm under the team, that it's a servant leadership, that I'm making certain my team has the resources and the things that they need to get work done. So it is an approach where I carry food and water for my team. Now, I'm not physically carrying food and water, right? Maybe a pizza on occasion, but I am carrying the things that they need. I'm getting them the resource and the information that they need to do the work to get us to value. It's so important. And we don't have to have that mindset just in Agile. We can certainly do that in a predictive environment as well. Always give praise to others. It's not a solo act. It's so important to acknowledge and to build others up and to show when others have done a great job. Now, I didn't do the great job. I'm just the point that people interact with. Who did the great job are the people on my team, that my team did the work. So important and so valuable, and that separates the difference between a great project manager and an average project manager. The other concept here that when people ask me this question, like how can I be a great project manager, is to begin with, just like at the beginning of a project, how do you know you're done? How do you know you're successful? So if you want to become a great project manager, it's, well, who determines that you're great? So how do you know you're great? And great in whose eyes? In your eyes? In the eyes of your stakeholder, your sponsor, and management, and your customers, or your team? Who determines greatness? So what is greatness, and really who determines that? And that will tell you a lot about what you believe in yourself as being great. So you think about, from management perspective, how would you be a great project manager? So then you build yourself to be a great PM in management's eyes. From your team's perspective, what would make you a great project manager? Your customers, your stakeholders, the vendors. So what are those attributes that you attach to that idea of greatness? So you identify those attributes of being great, and then you develop a plan to become great. But there is no magic formula that if I do X, Y, and Z, I'll be a great project manager. It's great according to whom. So that takes a little bit of insight and some experience and some planning, but also looking at other PMs that you consider great, and then how do you emulate what they have done? So we think about being a great project manager. I know you want to come away from this video with something that you can apply today to become a more effective, to be a better, reliable project manager? Anything that you tie to that idea of greatness, I guarantee you this one thing will make you a greater, a better project manager. And that's communication. Communication is so important in project management. You cannot be a project manager that hides behind your screen and you don't talk to anyone, that you left decisions unmade, you hoard information, you are not available for conversation, that you're not proactive, you're not talking to those people that you don't want to talk to because they're difficult or they always give you some pushback. Doesn't matter. As a great project manager, communication is the secret. So some concepts for you. You begin with, what do you say? What needs to be communicated? So up front, you have to have some planning. You look at your different stakeholders, your different types of customers, internal and external. You look at your management, your sponsor, your project team, your vendors. They all need different information from you, and you need different information from them. So you have to identify what needs to be communicated. And then you think about, well, what's the most appropriate way to say this? How do you say what you're trying to communicate? Out of all of our communication methods, face-to-face is the most effective. Now we know that after COVID, many of us work from home and work remote. Turn on the video camera. I know nobody wants to go into a meeting or a conversation and be on camera. I mean, look at me. I'm always on camera, and I'm sorry you have to look at this, but you're stuck with it. I'm stuck with it. The idea being, though, at least in a Zoom meeting, that we can see each other, that we have that face-to-face to an extent. We're getting that nonverbal communication, that it's a richer way of communicating than just our voice or just an email or a fax machine. That we have the advantage of eye contact in seeing nonverbal and body language, that how we pick up and that influences our message, the paralingual aspects of the message, which are our tone and our body language and that eye contact. That's so important. That affects our message. So what you say and how you say it go hand in hand. And then we think about, when do you say it? So what is the regular cadence of events that you have for meetings, for status reports, for these one-to-one conversations with your team, your sponsor, management, customers, what have you? You need a regular cadence of when this communication should happen. So who needs what information? When do they need it? How will I say it? So important. So we need to document that, whether that's in a personal plan for you, so you keep on top of your communication, or if you're in a predictive environment, a communications management plan. Take charge of communication. So important. You can't hide in project management. You need to be involved. You don't want to have this passive approach to communication. Take action. So right now, today, I bet you know there are things that you're dreading communicating, dreading sharing, or dreading asking that question. But if you do it today, you will help you become a better project manager, a greater project manager. Now, another aspect of being a great project manager is you are the hub of communication in the project. So you need to be in the know all the time. So how do you be in the know all the time? Well, obviously you're not going to know everything, especially as people are distributed and we have virtual teams. But you need to talk to your team and your customers and your stakeholders and read your email and be involved. You just have to be involved in the day-to-day activities of the project. Now, this is a part that a lot of people aren't going to like, and that's okay because, well, it just is. But I'm going to share it with you, and if you don't like it, it's all right. You don't have to like it. But this is very important, and this is called project management, not project leadership. I'm not saying leadership is not important, but the title is to be a great project manager. Management is about getting things done. We can't all hold hands and sing campfire songs and just cheerlead each other and have a lot of Tony Robbins quotes and inspiring stories and expect the project to be successful. Now, don't get me wrong. I love all of that stuff. I love campfire songs. I love Tony Robbins stories. I love inspirational stories. I love quotes. And I think that has its place in a project. But the real goal of a project is to create business value. That we have to, yes, have a focus on leadership and emotional intelligence and soft skills and support our team and our customers. However, our goal is to get things done. And that's why I say a lot of people don't like that they see that as kind of being brutish. But the fact of the matter is, the value is in results. And if your team is not working to create results, guess who takes the blame? You, the project manager. You're the liaison. You have been tasked, you've been delegated the authority to get that team to get things done. I know that sounds mean, but the reality is the goal is to get things done. Now, having said that, I think project leadership is very important. I think emotional intelligence is so crucial and has been lacking for years in project management. But good feelings and peace in a project is great. It helps the project to become more enjoyable to work in for everyone. But good feelings and peace doesn't always get us to the end result, doesn't always get us to value. That we need to have management. Yes, we lead people and manage things, but this is called project management. Inspiration is valuable, and our role as a project manager is often to inspire others to achieve. That we're not necessarily managing people, inspire people. We want people to be inspired and to achieve great things and to get things done in the project. But we always need to focus on first getting things done. That's one of the key things to be the difference of a great project manager and an average project manager. I want to leave you with this final concept, and that is ask people. Back to communication, back to project management. If you don't know what to do, you ask. So, stakeholders, what do you need from me? So what communication do you need from me? What reports do you need from me? What do you expect of me as a project manager? How can I better serve you as a project manager? My team, what do you need from me as a project manager? How can I help you do a better job creating the value that's the point of doing the project? Just that simple. Ask. Now, I'm not saying they're going to know every step. They're looking at you. You should be in charge. You should know. But as you move through the project, you want your team to feel that they can come to you and ask questions and ask for clarity and ask for support. That's so important. That's so valuable. Not to operate in this, I don't want to disturb Joe the PM. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to help you. I'm here to support you. I'm here to make certain you have the information and the resources that you need as my project team. Out of all the people in the project, what I value the most is my project team. I'll go to bat for my team all the time. That no one is going to attack my team. You can attack me, you're not attacking my team. These are the people that are doing the work that I oversee. And I want them to know they can always come to me with good news and bad news. We're going to work it out. We're going to find a solution. We're all adults. We know things happen. That my team is most important to me. And then my sponsor, some very important questions that I always ask at the beginning of the project is one, how do I know I'm successful in this project? How do I know I'm done in this project? I always ask those two questions. How do I know I'm successful? They're going to tell me what it takes to be great in their eyes. And I want to know how I know I'm done. And that helps me understand the vision. Your responsibility as a project manager is to take that vision from the sponsor and then to achieve it, to move the organization from this current state to this desired future state. That's the vision. And then how we're doing that movement is with the people that I'm most protected, the people that I most support, or my project team. They're doing the work. And then finally, I think what's most important when it comes to greatness is to ask of yourself, what do I expect from me? What do I expect from Joe? So you, the project manager, want to become a great PM, you have to ask, what are you willing to do? What do you expect from you? And a lot of times we set our expectations very, very high. We're most hardest or most difficult or most challenging on ourselves. And sometimes that's good. It's not always realistic. But we need to think about, well, what am I willing to do to be a great PM? What are you willing to do to be a great person? All right, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I want to thank you for your time and attention as you go forward in your career and become a great or greater project manager. Keep moving forward.